Sometimes our eyes and brains don't see everything correctly. See how you can get on with these optical illusions, math tricks, and word games. And hit the red button down below to subscribe to our channel. Watch that grid. Take a look at this grid. Do you see gray blobs popping up at the intersections of white lines between the black squares? Now try looking directly at a gray blob. It disappears, right? This is called the Hermann grid illusion, named after the man who reported it way back in 1870. There are different theories as to why this happens, but it's likely to do with our visual receptive fields. Shake your head. When you look at this image to begin with, it looks like a load of black and white lines. But shake your head from side to side and just see what happens. Did you see John Lennon? Totally freaky, right? The image is visible when you move your head because your M cells are at work. They're more sensitive to low contrast like this embedded image, and they work at high speeds. Reverse perspective. The English artist Patrick Hughes creates 3D sculpture paintings that really mess with the mind. He produces pictures that make your brain think a static painting is moving, and although they are made with parts sticking outwards, when you stand head-on, you believe it's a 2D image that is extending backwards, not forwards. The artist calls this reverse perspective reverse-spective. Jumbled letters. You might have seen this block of text before, where the words are all jumbled up, all except the first and last letters, that is. You might have felt pretty clever that you could still figure it out. The text claims our minds read words as a whole, not each letter. It also claims that this was discovered at Cambridge University. But this mind trick is another kind of trick too. Cambridge has nothing to do with it at all. It was actually circulated by an educational psychologist. Paris in the springtime. Take a look at this sign and read it out loud. Now, take a closer look. Did you miss the fact that the word "the" is repeated? Although our eyes see the words, our brains also play a part in interpreting what we see. And with well-known phrases that we're familiar with, we can skip over an extra word. The brain wants to work quickly rather than intricately. With this version, the red triangle also plays a part in distracting us from noticing what's really there. The yolk of eggs. We've got a little quiz for you. Which is correct? The yolk of eggs is white, or the yolk of eggs are white? If you answered neither, then you're right. Of course, the yolk isn't the white part of the egg, but the way the question is phrased puts our attention on the verb, so we don't notice the obvious inaccuracy. Our brains don't like information gaps, so we go with the first solution that seems possible, instead of taking time to consider everything that's been presented to us. Susan's mother. Susan's mother had 3 children. The first was named April. The second was named May. What was the third child's name? Did you say June? Our brains tend to see what we expect to see, or what we want to see. And our brains are always looking to make connections and see patterns. So much so that we'll sometimes see them when they aren't there at all. Like seeing the pattern April, May, June. Rather than seeing the real answer, Susan is actually in the question. Think of a number. Now it's time for a math trick. Think of a number between 1 and 9. Multiply it by 9. If your answer has 2 digits, add them together. Subtract 5. With this new number, turn it into a letter by following the rule 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 equals C, 4 equals D, and so on. Think of a country beginning with that letter. Think of an animal beginning with the last letter of that country. Have you got your country and animal? Are they Denmark and kangaroo? That was what most people would think of. Squares of different colors. Do these 2 squares look like different colors? Hold your finger horizontally so it covers the boundary line between the 2 shapes. Do you see the colors changing? They're actually the same color. This is the corn-sweet illusion, and it's all about the brain's lateral inhibition. When 2 objects have different colored edges, it creates more contrast between them. The object next to the lighter gradient looks brighter than the one next to the darker gradient. Fade away. Stare at the black cross in the middle. After a short time, it will seem like the lilac circles surrounding it begin to fade away. This optical illusion is called Troxler's fading, named after the Swiss physician who identified it in 1804. When we fix on a particular point, anything that doesn't change around it will start to fade and disappear. This is because the brain has got used to it and starts to ignore it. Which of these mind tricks do you find most amazing? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to give us a big thumbs up.